Today we're doing my take on a surf and turf. We're doing a crispy skinned salmon with basil glass. Under that we're doing what I like to call a crab crush. And then surrounding that are baby tomatoes that we'll roast. If you're on the fence about fish, this dish will win you over. We're about to turn this kitchen into a crispy food spot. My name is Vincent-Bryan. I work for Residential Life and Housing. However, when I'm not in my office, I can be found in a market or a kitchen. I enjoy making dishes that are smart, simple, and shareable. Together, I know that we can turn your kitchen into a food spot. The food spot is sponsored in part by Big Y, a world-class market. So here's what we're going to do first. We're going to start with our tomatoes because those take the longest. I'm going to cut them in half and then I'm going to put them in a sheet pan. Line them with a little bit of salt and pepper, a bit of oil, and pop them in the oven at 250. That's going to sit in there the entire time of our cooking so that they can get really sweet. Here we go. Second up, we're going to line them on our sheet pan. Flesh side up. Then grab some oil. And while I'm back here, I'm going to set our oven to 250. We're going to run that low and slow. And we're going to drizzle a little bit of oil all over the tops. How about I push the start button? A little bit of pepper. We're cooking now, the fan's on. And some salt. Remember, we seasoned it up top. And that's it, that's our side. Next, I'm going to chop up our spring onions, or scallions, whatever you call them. My crew calls them the green stuff, but they're scallions. Line them all up. One even cut. Prep. Done. So the prep for our salad and our base is done. We'll start with our potatoes. Regular Idaho potatoes in the pot. I've chosen to do 4 or 5. I'm going to parboil them, which means I'm just going to add some water. With potatoes, you just want to add enough water to cover the top of the tallest potato. I'm going to cover them and bring them to a boil. I'm going to let them par cook, and so back to what that means. Par cooking means you're cooking them most of the way. 85 to 90% of the way. I'm going to take them off the heat and let them cool down. When they get really hot, all the proteins, everything inside that potato starts to really move around. We want to do a crush, not a mash. So bring them back down by chilling them, make sure that we can crush them, and then hold on to their own form. I'm leaving the skins on to help with that, to hold everything together. So, onto the stove. Doing medium heat, and let them go. So the first thing we'll talk about with salmon, this is a crispy skin dish, is ways to make sure the skin is actually crispy. And one of the first ways is to score them, cut through, because when the pan and the fish connect, the fish will want to curl up to get away from that heat. And we do that by just simply flipping our skin over, reaching for a serrated knife ideally, pushing our skin together, just making long cuts right down. In addition to helping me keep the fish flat, that gives me a place to put my spices, which today is simple salt and pepper. Next hand goes salt. And then in here, we're going to tuck some thyme. We just want the leaves, all the woody bits can go in the trash. And then onto a hot pan. Skin side down and let it go. Fish, particularly salmon, tells us when it's done. As it gets hotter and as it cooks, you'll see it turn from this bright pink to a more opaque color. And we'll watch for that. But for now, let it do its thing. So, recap of where we are. Our salmon's well underway. We're gonna leave it on the skin side for 90% of its cooking time. In the oven are tomatoes, and those are getting nice and rich and concentrated because of the heat. We parboiled our potatoes earlier, right? And so we've cooled those off by leaving them in the refrigerator. Now we're gonna finish them by adding all of our other ingredients. The stove's on. We're gonna finish this as a hot salad. A little bit of oil, lots of spring onions, a little touch of water. Technically, we probably could get away with using half of this. I'm gonna use the whole container, and this was some freshly picked crab meat. We're gonna mash it all together. Still a bit of resistance because it's not cooked all the way through. We're gonna finish that on the stove. I will finish it with some lemon, but that's later. On the heat, salt, pepper, and that's it. All this is doing its own thing, and we'll check in 5 minutes. We'll go from there. So as you can see, our salmon is at 85% of the way done. And we're gonna finish it on the flesh side. Oh, look at it. Those will sit there for another 3 minutes or so. And meanwhile, we'll finish up our salad. So once again, in here we have potatoes that have been parboiled and finished in this pan. A little bit of oil, spring onions, and a bit of water. I'm gonna finish with just a twist of lemon. Cupping it to capture any of the seeds that may fall. Not that lemon seed didn't really hurt anyone. Perfect. I'm gonna pick a few fresh sprigs of basil. I'm gonna fry these off in the oil. They'll get really crispy and almost translucent. That's where our basil glass comes from. Our salmon is wrapping up. Our tomatoes are almost done. Our potatoes are done. Let's go to today's guest spot.
What's up? My name is Brandon Toussaint. I'm a senior and I live in Blackstone Hall. And my cooking experience, well, I cook a lot. One of my favorite things to cook is buffalo wings. Yes, I do that. But I just really like trying to cook different kind of styles, put a little swag in my cooking. That's why I came to the food spot. I think Devon can help me with that. Teach me a little something I didn't know. So.
And so here we have it. Our crispy skin salmon, our shards of basil, fried right at the end, our crab mash, or crab crush as I like to call it, and our roasted tomatoes around the edges. I hope you enjoy.
Smells delicious.
Still crispy, just, yep. I don't know if you can hear that, but I can. Right in the center. Yeah, I hear it. Try to get everything all in one bite. A little bit of the basil, some tomato. You see what I did there?
That's good.
Not too salty. Okay.
Good work.
On behalf of my guests, my crew, and myself, we wish you happy cooking and even better, happy eating. Bye-bye.